What's good, everyone? This is Deb the Coolest.
And this is JB.
And welcome to Slick Talk. Hey.
Hashtag Slick Talk.
It lit. It lit with a hashtag. It lit. We hope y'all had a great week. Thank you for tuning in. Today we have a special guest in the building.
Hey, we finally got him on, y'all.
Yes.
We finally got him on.
Yes, he's an event curator and producer.
Yes.
And he goes by the name of Dexter. Yes. I'm sure you've heard of Dexter. If you haven't heard of Dexter, you've been under a rock.
Listen, get it together if you haven't.
You have so much stuff going on. You have food like critique page, right?
Like a food blog. I throw events. Right, I'm at Tommy T's.
Yeah, welcome to the
T's
table.
Nightclub.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're both on, yeah.
So just real fast, out of everything that you're doing right now, what is the one thing that you're probably the most passionate about or that you enjoy doing the most?
Honestly, I found a new love in throwing events, honestly.
Okay.
I love that now, and I really want to pursue that.
So what type of events?
Well, I want to build off of networking mixers and building an experience with them. So maybe bringing like some live entertainment into those, in between conversation or whatever's clever, something unique that'll make it different like mine. Nice. That's a bad Dexter event,
Okay. Right. Yeah. So what was the last event that you threw? What was that
last event that I threw? I threw a mixer at Yoshi's in Oakland, actually, which was a really big turnout. Actually, I had it on Meetup and everything that. There was a bunch of people that I never met before that came out. Yeah. Met a whole bunch of new people, and everybody was just looking in my area that I had reserved for us specifically, and they were like, "Who is this guy that knows all these beautiful black people?" It was beautiful, and we all were like successful in our own ways. There were models there, TV people there, scientists, doctors. Like it was just all random. And just having a good time,
And the black community, I don't know if it's growing as much as it's showing up a lot more. You know what I mean? I'm starting to see a lot more of us. Because I was scared that we were leaving the Bay Area because of gentrification and how expensive it is. Yeah. But I've met so many, especially black gay men, attractive black gay men out here. And I'm just like, where did y'all come from?
I think that natives of the Bay Area, that people that have been here for a long time are still leaving. Like I left.
Yeah, and
I just think people that have never been here before.
There are people moving to the Bay Area because of tech.
Exactly.
A lot of the people that I meet are working in tech.
Everybody.
And they're trying to do a lot more diversity and inclusion and all that good stuff.
So that's good.
That's awesome.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank
I
you.
definitely have to be at the next one, please.
You should when you're in town.
Yes.
I know you're moving and grooving. LA life is super fast.
Listen, that's another story. Anyways, what we talking about today, Dave?
Yes, what's the topic?
So today we're going to kind of just go with the flow and talk about the nuances of being a black gay man. So kind of like the good, the bad, the ugly, what we have to deal with, maybe some of like the mental strain that it puts on us. Yeah. And whatever we feel comfortable about sharing with our personal experiences and kind of tying it into the topic. Yeah. I think some people don't they want to know a bit more about what it is to live as a black gay man.
Yeah.
Like they want to know, not because they want to be gay, but they don't know. It's taboo. It's not understood.
I feel like there's a fascination behind it.
There is a fascination.
I feel like right now we see a lot of, and I appreciate the allyship and the allies that we have all over, but I feel like a lot of black women, they latch onto us. A lot of black women have been latching onto us. And they're like taking, using our language and using us for our creative style and, to kiki with and everything. And I completely love that. But I also think that in the back of their minds as well, they're like, oh, I wonder, how it is to actually live in their shoes. Because I'm friends with them, I'm allies, and this is my sis or whatever. But I wonder how it is to like live their truth every day. So yeah,
I would say it's hard. I would say it's really hard because one, growing up like that, kids are mean. You know what I mean? Being made fun of, all that stuff. Like that. I would say.
It's not the easiest thing.
It isn't at all. Like it's really hard, you know what I mean? Because there are people that respect that because you are living your truth, you are living your life like how you want to truly live your life. Right. And then there are people who really don't agree with that, and there's just all these different
which makes it hard
hooplas.
For people. Yeah.
If you don't mind, I'm curious if you're comfortable, please just share whatever you're comfortable with. But if you don't mind do you mind giving us like a quick kind of like how you kind of like came out and and if you did fully come out and how were you embraced and what community
what did that
intersection of our community kind of embraced you the most? Like, what did it look like?
Crazy thing. Okay, crazy ride. Let's take you on a trip. So I would say just take you on a quick trip. Right, yeah. My roller coasters, okay. Top Gun. So I always had an inkling, like, like growing up and stuff like that I did like dudes or whatever. But it was official when high school was about to start. In middle school, I was like, oh, he looked good, woo. And then high school started and I was like, this is a new thing. I'm getting older, like I wanna like be myself. My whole family was cool with it, except my mom. My mom is very religious, so that was a very big issue. And the first thing in her mind was, I want grandkids. So she's thinking like all these other things, right? But I still want kids, I just don't want to live this fake life and have a beard and live with this woman I don't want to be with. When I,
he said have a beard.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to play myself. I don't want to play her. I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? But that's more love too for the child. They have a mom, they have two dads, or two moms, whatever's clever. Right. So high school happened. My mom wasn't accepting of it, super religious. My dad was actually very accepting of it, actually, because his brother, my uncle, was gay or whatever. So he was cool. No issue. Right. My mom was like, you're going to have issues in high school with that, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh,
so
whatever.
You came out like around middle school?
Actually, I came out the day before high school started.
Wow.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Literally the day before. And I wanted to start off anew, start off afresh.
Which back then, I mean, I don't know specifically what time that was, but I just feel like anything that goes past like 2005, is kind of like goes back beyond 2005 is kind of revolutionary. Coming out.
Oh, coming out.
Because nowadays it's like way easier. Like I feel like after 2005, 2000, around that time, 2006. I'm just throwing out a number that I was just thinking back to. But I just feel like around after that time, it's like became gradually and more, easier. So it was revolutionary for you to come out at such a young age, going into a place where I would say probably the LGBTQ plus community faces the most backlash is in a high school.
Yeah, and I was in the suburbs too, so everything that's different was just like, what? No, And honestly, crazy thing, I wish I would have never did it. I wish I would have never came out, would have never did that, because that automatically put people in my business. Automatically, any dude I'm talking to or anybody I'm cool with that's a male, automatically thought I was doing something with him. Automatically, off the bat.
Okay,
you know what I mean? So then in high school, no dudes wanted to hang out with me, this and that. Dudes wouldn't even like walk on the side of me, like, you know what I mean? Because they didn't want no type of any thoughts in anybody's mind. You know,
but that says more about them,
right?
For sure.
And it does, and also too, like with the area I'm in as well. Where I went to school. Also too, I feel would be more accepting now because kids are way more accepting now. But back then, I feel you also can be out without being out. I feel like you can just live your truth and just live your life, but not just telling the world, I'm gay, I'm with him, I'm dating over here, I'm doing that, Right. So I just wish I would have kind of wasn't so out there with it. I kind of wish I kind of would just kept it to myself and just did what I did and had my own business, my own life nobody knew about. Maybe, got into sports or something like that. So have the facade up like everybody else.
But then also you may have wished that, but then also you never know how you would be as a person right now if you did keep that in.
True.
We don't know the trajectory of our lives. So if we look back on it, like right now, you're established, you're healthy, you seem very confident.
Yeah.
Like that could have been totally different if you suppressed who you really were inside and you didn't let everybody know.
Actually, yeah.
So you probably you couldn't have met some of the friends or the allies that you met along that journey. So I mean, you're good. You're here right now. So
I am. Okay.
You may have wished, but you never know if you did take a different route where you would be right now. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense actually. Because I've had people after that actually say like, "Oh my God, I admired that you did that." Because there were people that in high school came out later actually after me and this and that. And also too, I went to like a Christian school too.
Oh, child.
So yeah, Dexter has stories for days.
Oh, don't get me started on
as he sips his tea.
Right.
Okay, so I want to you spoke on like having black women friends. What I want to say, just get this out the way, is don't call me girl or sis.
You specifically.
Me.
Okay.
All black men, or we don't
What about you? Do you like?
Do you have a problem with that?
Like,
I don't have a problem with it from time to time because it's kind of the territory kind of thing. Okay. You know what I mean? Since we are gay and they are so comfortable, it's like, oh, and it's also like just like a saying now too. It's like, oh, girl, it's this, just like when you say like, hey guys, and it's like a group of women. It's just like a saying to me. So I kind of I just like aside. But I did have one friend that she would always be like, bitch, bitch, bitch. We'd be around like like we in the studio with a bunch of trap dudes. I'm like, hey, I gotta switch it up. Like time and place. If
it was me, I'd be like, call me a bitch. Let them know.
Let them know.
Right, with the trapper.
And they trap.
And they trap. Well, I mean, I guess I agree with that. There is a time and a place, but I guess where I'm coming from is if you meet me from jump or just at my job, I've had guests because I got an ass and I got a little, and if I get comfortable, if I get comfortable enough, a little bit more of my feminine side can come out as I get comfortable with guests. But then they start being like, "Oh, girl," or bitch, and I'll be like, "Okay, let's pause. Let's bring it back," because one, I don't know you, but also.
And I think that just has a lot to do with them trying to make you feel comfortable. They think. Okay. I honestly think that they think that.
If they think that, I'm letting them know now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Wait, so you don't talk like that with your friends? Like your friends?
Well, no, like with some of my guy friends and behind.
But it's mostly like joking, though.
Right. It's like, and it's never like. Bitch. Yeah. It's like, or just B-I-A. Like, or hey, Sarah, calm down, sis. Like, you're doing too much.
Yeah, like kind of like jokey, like with a real like jokey undertone.
But it's never like if it's like an endearing conversation, like, girl. Like you got this, girl.
It's never
like that. It's never that
conversation.
Never that. But I will say, thankfully, I don't have any black women in my life that be like girl or sis or anything like that. And I don't know what that means. I mean, just like you were saying, like, I necessarily wouldn't mind it too much. I'd be like, oh, okay. Like, I just throw it off, whatever. But it is very important to let everybody know, or let, black women or any allies know that, just because we're black gay men, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to, address this as cis or even be overly gay or try to do too much. It's like, at the end of the day, like, just base your actions on everyone specifically, like every individual. If you feel like that's the page that they're on, then maybe take that chance. But if you feel like it's not like that, don't try to overcompensate to, make us feel comfortable.
Especially out,
like, just be yourself.
When we in the streets, girl, if you don't lower that voice.
Okay. The hell?
But I just wanted to get that out there.
No, I appreciate
that was on your spirit.
Something I do want to. Something that I think is important for us to really discuss, though, is the discriminatory acts that we face within our own black gay community. Okay. And what I mean by that, and then you guys can take it away first, is just like how we're always finding different attributes about ourselves and our black gay community to put against each other. Like, oh, he's overweight. He's too overweight, so I don't want to be associated with him, or I don't want to date him. Or he's too dark skinned. I'm only looking for light skin. Or, he doesn't, he's broke. He doesn't dress well, or whatever the case may be. So it's like always something that is going on in our inner circle of the black gay community. We already have a lot of stuff going on outside of it, but then even inside of it, we discriminate against each other, and we're always throwing hate and stuff like that. Where do you think that stems from, Dev?
Insecurities. Not feeling like that individual is not feeling like they're good enough, so they need to find something to latch onto with someone else so they can feel better. Like, make that person, like, going to like the being broke thing. If I have money, but I'm not the most attractive person, I can utilize that being broke as a leverage up and be like, oh, you're broke, I don't date broke dudes, and then I'm going to show off this lavish lifestyle. Yeah. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely.
Does that make sense?
No, it does. Okay. So it stems from, like, you believe it stems from, like, a insecurity that people have. What about you, Dex? I just realized we have Dev and Dex.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. DJD. We're here. We're here today. Well, I would say probably insecurities too. I would say, and then there's also too. I noticed that like with women, there's like they have like more categories than we do. It's literally what you're fat. With us, it's like you're fat, you're buff, you're twink. Is that what the three categories we have? Right. So it's like right. You know, they have slim, thick, and curvy, and you're a pear, you're a peach, you're this, you're that. And like what we just we're living in a shoe in our community. But I would say it's definitely insecurities, and also too I feel I've experienced different forms of the discriminatory acts per se in different areas as well. Like the Bay Area, right? The Bay Area gays got their own way. The LA gays got their way. New York gays got their way. The DMVs, the A's.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
The Bay Area,
now that we're interested in the Bay Area, can you give an example of something that you felt, if you feel comfortable?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Like, why is the Bay Area interesting?
Yeah,
I would say the Bay Area is interesting because honestly, me personally, and I have talked to a couple of people else too, I feel like there's not really any love in the LGBTQIA community in the Bay Area. Like, it's very cliquey. It's very I only know these people, have these people, so I'm staying over here. Like when I go to like regular bars, regular clubs, with straight people or whatever, like they're way more friendly. They come up and talk to random people. They'll take shots with strangers at the bar. Like they're having they're for the good time. But like when I go to these like gay bars, whatever, these gay events, it's just like it's the looks, it's the like it's so much stuff, and also too I've realized too, like with some people, a lot of people I've seen is like they don't find like interest in sparking anything with you if you're not someone that they would see themselves with,
which is deep,
right?
Because how do you say you're looking for friends or you're looking for associates and then you don't even give anybody a chance?
Exactly.
And why do you need to be attracted to your friend?
Exactly.
So
in that way,
exactly.
I've always been curious about that. But yeah, I agree with both of you guys. I agree with both of you guys. I think it does stem from insecurities. I think it's also kind of like a defense mechanism to black gay people in general that have faced so much hate and discriminatory acts against them that now it's kind of like instilled.
Like hurt people.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
It's like there's still a lot of like room. There's still therapy that we need to seek in order to kind of figure out why we continue to do the same things that we don't appreciate other people doing to us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like I was speaking on another episode that we did, I'm always on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I always come across people that, like, I seen this one tweet that somebody said, it was a young dude, but he basically was just like, yeah, so if you're cute, you can only be in our group you can only be in our clique if you're cute. Drop your picture, tweet your picture or whatever, and we may add you to the group. It was just something so superficial. I was just like, so you can only be a part of this clique if you're cute?
Right.
Like, and what does cute to you?
It's a cute to you. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
And then
because what I may find attractive, you may not find attractive.
Right.
I mean, I've dated people that you didn't find attractive.
Who, me?
Yeah. Like
Like your ex?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, but I'll probably. But the thing about let me see this. So I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I've evolved so much in what I find attractive and what I don't. So back in the day, I'm like, oh, they're not attractive because I was thinking a different mindset, a very superficial, shallow way of just looking at their exterior. But now I'm like seeing people in a whole different light, and I'm looking at hearts, and I'm looking at personalities, and I'm looking at demeanors, and I'm like, oh my God, you're fine as fuck. Like your face may not be cute, but you're fine as but you're fine as being realistic. Well, I mean, we're all attracted to something.
I think, especially being in the gay lifestyle, we kind of, or I can only speak for myself, I fell into that. Like when I didn't come out till I was 26. Coronavirus around. I don't want my lips, my lips just touched this mic.
Oh, child, better get a bump.
I didn't come out till I was 26. However, I got around starting at 16.
Oh,
and baby, I had a type.
Yeah.
If you were not cute, if you were shorter than me, if you didn't have the body that I wanted, like you just didn't get an opportunity or a chance.
No, I totally get it, and I feel like
I've grown. All that to say, I've grown out of that.
Yeah,
I've grown out of that. I'm dating,
and I've seen it. You're dating Asians. No, you said that you were dating Asians. I'm not trying to be mean. You said you may go on a date tonight with an Asian.
I said that last episode.
Well, I mean, you still said it. The heck? And that's fine.
It's fine. No, it's totally fine. But I wouldn't have done that once upon a time.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think it's just bring it around. I think we do have some growing to do as a community. Absolutely. And it takes time.
Yeah. And I'm all for growing in our community and then also holding other communities responsible as well. I feel like we can chew gum and walk at the same time. So it's like, it's okay for us to say, oh no, this is what we need to change and this is what we need to work on in our community. But at the same time, y'all need to be giving us respect as well.
Yeah.
You know, so, but we first need to, come together, and that also is a bigger picture too. It has a lot to do with the Black community in a whole, not just the Black gay community. Like the Black community needs to be more inclusive and more, on the same accord and everything. That's a whole nother conversation. But I just feel like people, would like to say, and the critics and the haters would be like, oh, don't focus on what we doing inside of here. That's just our community, or that's just what we do. It's just a lifestyle. Focus on the hetero people that are bashing us and that still don't accept us. And I'm like, no, I can focus on them, and I can focus on what's going on in our community as well. I'm going to hold us accountable. I'm going to hold myself accountable. What the fuck I look like what the fuck I look like? Bitch, I run this town. I ain't coming out for less than...
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
That's what I mean. Sorry.
Okay, that was the days. Those were the golden days. The mixtape era.
Out Nicki. But yeah, so anyways, it's a really interesting dynamic, but I'm very happy that we're having this conversation because I want us to just grow. I want us to accept all different shades of Black. I want us to accept all different body types. I want us to accept femininity. That's another thing as well.
We need to stop bottom shaming.
You need to stop bottom shaming. You need to be proud if you're a bottom. Right. One thing I will say real fast.
Dang,
and
sorry.
Listen, because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it.
Well, say what you need to say, but also you have to explain what bottom shaming means in case people don't know.
Oh, you mentioned it, so you can explain it, and then I'll go back to my point.
Okay. We just seem so excited. We keep hitting our mouth on this microphone, y'all. We don't like it.
I don't know what that means.
But just don't lose your point. You just seem so passionate and excited about it. But bottom shaming, so we have tops versus and bottoms. Tops give versus do both, and bottoms take. There is... Dexter's losing
Why are you sweating over here, Dexter?
It's really hot in here. I have my mug.
Oh, my God.
So bottom shaming within the community is basically... So it's like you... How do you say this? Like,
I mean, you could even you could connect it to a patriarchy. So, like, the top would be like the man in a sense. If you're looking at heterosexual, because the man kind of usually gives.
Yes, and I guess being a bottom is equivalent to being like a woman or like less than.
It's not equivalent, but that's what a lot of people like to put it as.
Exactly, which is not the case. But within the gay community, there's a group of people that bottom shame. So if you say you're a bottom, you just like getting plowed down. You ain't got you don't have walls.
Like, are you too big to be a bottom?
Right, or you're a bitch. And it's just, bottom shaming is basically shaming someone for their sexual preference in the bed.
Exactly.
Because there's no top shaming. There's no top shaming. There's no verse shaming. It's only bottom shaming.
Absolutely.
So all you bottoms out there, be proud.
Right. And what you think I'm saying. Their preferences. Because there could be a complete top, but he just has a fat ass and you think he's lying about being a top.
That's touche.
That is very true. And there's a lot of people, and I think there's a lot of people that do that. Have you, what?
I said that sounds nice.
Oh, right? I didn't even hear that. That sounds real nice. Don't get me started, Chad. I'm only out here for one night.
What were you going to say earlier?
No, I'm going to go back to my point because I'm remembering it. Has there been a case where, you don't have to get into specifics, but has there been a case where you felt, and this will go into my point, has there been a case where you felt like you needed to I guess lie about your sexual practices in order to be with somebody that you were interested in?
I mean, like, I have.
You have?
I have. Yeah, I've been like nervous.
Well, no, what do you mean?
I've been nervous to like be honest. Like, should I say how I really how I get down, what I like to do, what I'm feeling right now?
As an example, but you just answer the question. But I'll give the listeners an example. Say, for example, you go on a date with somebody, and the guy that you go on a date with he's masculine, he looks buff, he's tall and everything. So he appears to be a top, right? You just automatically assume that he's a top because he's masculine, big, whatever the case may may be. And then Dex goes on a date with him, and then Dex happens to be a top as well, or he actually prefers to do top, but also bottoms, I guess, too. And then he'll go on the date with this top, and he'll lie and be like, yeah, I mostly bottom, That's what I'm saying, an example. That's why I was asking, have you ever felt like you would be like, oh, yeah, I mostly bottom, just to try to be with the person that was saying that they were only, a top, So you said you have before to do that. Okay, what about you? Have you?
I don't think I've ever lied about it. I'm verse, so it's like,
oh yeah,
I can't. You're open, that goes fully? To my point. Are you guys open with saying that? You guys are saying positions on the mic.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's a great segue to my point, and then we can talk about positions.
This is great.
That's a great segue to my point.
This is a great icebreaker.
So my point is,
right? I'm like, I
feel so comfortable with you guys now.
At the end of the episode.
Listen, my point. That was a great segue. Thank you, Dev. My point is that I feel like we're also, because of the shaming and everything, I feel like we've been lying to each other about what we really, so this is a deeper issue, but I feel like in the black gay community, and even outside of the gay community, but again, I can only speak on my experience in the black gay community, I feel like we lied to each other so much about what we really, really want because we tried to be with the person that we, think that we want to be with at the time. You know what I'm saying? So all this whole, I'm verse thing, you know what I'm saying? I'm not discounting that. You have the receipts, baby.
Oh, listen.
You have the receipts. We used to be roommates for, 3 years, 2.5 years? Yes. So I see the receipts. But but I'm just saying that there's a lot of dudes that throw out, I'm verse, because they think that it would appeal more to the person
to the masses.
Or the masses, or to the person that they're dating. And it's just like, listen, if you're not verse, if you prefer one thing over I'm not trying to take away if you want to do both. I'm not trying to take that away. But if you know for a fact that you only want a bottom, then just tell them that. Just own that.
That's the after effect of the bottom shaming.
Yeah,
because there's so
totally
much bottom shame, people don't want to say, I'm a bottom. Like, people are scared to say that. I will say to that point, though, I've been in a relationship with someone that was a verse top. And so in that relationship, I had to play more of the bottom role. Not bottom role, but in the bedroom, I was, more of a bottom.
We got that bit. We got with that bit. Because also, because there's no roles, right? So if you're a bottom, don't feel like you need to be washing dishes and cleaning the house and everything like that.
That's why I backtracked to say that bottom.
But there's no roles, though. That's what I'm saying. I want that to literally, that's one thing that we face, and I think, Dex, you can agree with.
Absolutely.
I think that's one thing we face in here, that we think that if you're a top, you're supposed to be the man, you're supposed to be the provider, you're supposed to be opening up the door for the thing, you're supposed to be doing all this type of stuff that heterosexual normalities of their kind of things, or heteronormalities of their kind of practices. Do you agree with that? Do you feel like do you feel like a top should just be open? Like, even though you have your own sexual practices in the room, do you feel like they should take on like these responsibilities
outside
that they have? Like in the heteronormative.
Heteronormative. Ooh, these words in here. Okay. Okay. Yes. I think, be honest. I mean, what situation?
I'm saying, do you think they should take on the practices? Some people like
should the top hold the door open for the bottom?
Yeah.
I think it should be mutual. I feel like I definitely feel like it's like a man and man relationship. I feel like we're both men. We should do multiple things. You know what I mean? Because there's gonna be situations where like I want to be the man of the situation. I want to take care of you, and also too I want to be taken care of, and I want to be the little spoon.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I have a friend that literally is like opposite. He's like, no, I just want to go home.
He wants
a
purse.
Look it. I just want to go home and cook. I want to clean, and I want my man to come home and do it. And I'm like, what works for you, works for you.
Well, that's your thing. That's your thing. Yeah. That is your thing.
Just good luck
if
with
that's your
jush.
Do y'all watch Jasmine Masters?
I know who that is.
She was on
RuPaul's Drag Race.
And
oh yeah,
I watch her.
That's crazy how she's literally known for that. I mean, she's obviously known for more, but you say,
and she said, what the fuck they got going on in this neighborhood?
Oh, there's a new one actually. She did. It was it's when it's like, when does it when do you ever? You seen that one? Which is like, it's a new one. It's a good one. It's funnier than how it sounds.
I thought he was really doing it. I'm like, where you get it out?
Yeah, that's
I thought you were really
doing.
thinking about it. But yeah, so one more question moving forward. It's a different, like topic. I don't know how much time we have left.
Oh, we're
getting close. We can end with this though. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about, and for both of you guys, how do you feel about like dating someone who's trans? Like, and first we can just say that, just to put it out there, we, Dev and I eventually are going to have somebody that's trans on the podcast to talk about their experience, because we haven't had anyone on there to talk about their experience. Mm-hmm. But we really want to say that us as a podcast and as friends, and I'm sure you can agree with us, that we really value the trans community. And we do understand that Black trans women are getting killed more than any other people in our community.
Right.
So we do want to value and uplift. But what I will say is that there's a lot of hate and disregard for that community as well within the gay community, which is important. We want to uplift them, like everybody. That's one thing. So how do you feel about that?
That's a whole segment right there. I got some points to say about that.
We just want to have somebody on there that can speak personally from this. You can come on too.
I would love to, because I've seen some things too, because that situation, because Saucy Santana, the situation where like he got like shot or whatever, and he was kind of allegedly, from what I was seeing and hearing, how he was playing the victim, but like someone that was actually there was saying how he was kind of like the aggressor and kind of was like pushing people to pull some things, So also too, I feel like there is, that is, a very endangered group in our community as well. Mm-hmm. But also too, there is a sort of like exposing culture too that, is very dangerous, and you are knowing what you're dabbling with and knowing the kind of dude that this is, and you're pushing hard lines, so
and that there's gonna always be some people in a group of people that obviously don't line up with the regular people that are trans and they're doing that. But I'm just curious on like, as far as our personal lives, would you ever see yourself like not entertaining, but dating someone who's trans, like a trans man, trans woman, or even like, do you have any trans friends that you have that
that you would date,
or that you just hang out with?
So at this point in time, I would not lie, I do not see myself dating a trans person.
So a man or a trans man, trans man or a trans woman,
just man.
Okay,
and not because I have an issue with trans. My whole thing, as shallow as it sounds, when it gets down to the bedroom, I want, this sounds so insensitive, but I want the real thing. Like, I want it, like, I know that sounds really insensitive, but I don't want to get done by a strap-on or you know what I mean? Like, because then at that point, I'll be playing top, I guess, the whole time.
So if you were probably fully top, then you would probably.
I don't even think so, because no.
Yeah, it's nothing like a man or something.
Well, I want if I'm jacking you, I want you to be able to feel it.
And like for something to come out.
And so, exactly, okay. I want that nut on my.
Okay, now
for something to come out.
My mom listened to this.
I stopped. I didn't say anything.
You did say.
What did I say?
Okay.
What did I say?
Do you have any friends that are like trans?
I do have trans friends. Trans friends, and I love them. Okay. I really do. So when it comes to a person, I can totally fall in love with a trans person, but long term, I can't. I don't see myself being with them, because sex is important to me, and if we're lacking in that department,
exactly,
sex is important to you. Okay, on that note, pass the mic this way. Okay, I would say honestly, I could not see myself with the trans man, trans woman. Maybe if it comes down to when in Rome, try something new, maybe, and in the bedroom, try something new, maybe.
Right.
Kind of don't really see myself still doing that.
Right.
because I do, I like men, I want to be with a man, and the real thing, all that you were saying. And also, all that you were saying, all the above. But also, too, like another thing, going back to what we were talking about earlier, I haven't really had like a really good experience with, a few trans folks. Haven't been too nice to the Dexter mayor, the mayor of the Bay Area. Yeah, really? I haven't had too many nice interactions, but whatever happens.
We're listening to you, child.
Yeah, whatever happens.
We both got a text from somebody that's going through some shit. So.
No, but
what about you, Justin?
Yeah, so and then I'll say it real quick. I'll wrap it because I know we got to wrap up. So I've been.
Dexter just said it the nice way.
Yeah,
he said what I said, but in a
pretty
nice way.
much. I as of late and probably months ago, I've entertained the idea of being in a like situation like a throuple.
Oh, you are?
I mean, I just entertained the idea and I thought about it. It's not saying that's what I want to do.
Okay.
I just entertained the idea, and the reason why I have to entertain it is because I wouldn't mind dating someone that is trans, like a trans man. Because, I mean, just my experience with some of them, I'm like, you more nigga than the niggas. You know?
Oh, have you dabbled?
No, I haven't personally dabbled.
Either or, with the trans man or trans woman.
Damn, I mean, you gonna put me on the spot? I wasn't ready for that question.
We were on the spot.
No,
and you didn't answer the position question earlier, too.
I didn't answer.
And you didn't say your safe word in the last episode.
I'm going to get to that. Okay, I'll get all that right down there. We close. So, no, I have not dabbled. No, I have not dabbled. That doesn't mean that I wouldn't dabble.
Okay.
But that goes into, like, I love the energy of like trans men, you know, some that I have ran into. I'm like, oh, I don't know if it's just the overcompensation, but still cool, because they don't really identify. I mean, they identify as a man, but they're not really a man. So sometimes you find those that,
they're not a cis.
Exactly.
Like studs. I love studs, but I don't like girls, but I love studs.
Yeah, so I would entertain
awesome.
that in that situation. My sexual practices are verse.
Fully.
You know, fully versed. Damn, Dex. Shit.
Right? That's Deb. Like, Deb, are you fully too? I was about to say that earlier.
Oh, I am. Yes.
Oh,
fun.
I'm full, and I'm
but
not
I've attracted. Sorry, since we asked that question. I'm attracted and attract topped more than anything, though.
Okay.
So in most of my relations, I say I'm oral verse.
Okay.
Because I prefer to give and receive head.
I've heard that before.
Okay, so what's your safe word?
My safe word
and then we'll get out of here.
My safe word is bloop.
Okay.
So if I say bloop, get your motherfucking hands off my neck. Bloop, get your hands off my neck.
That's how
I'm done.
You about to swing. Bloop.
Okay. That's what it is, because I'm blooping you upside your motherfucking head.
I mean, is there an opposite safe word? Maybe like choke me harder? Was there like an opposite safe word?
Wait, he was here for the safe word?
No, that was last episode.
Oh, okay. Okay. So what's your safe word after we ended with you?
I don't have one.
Okay. Oh, child, he wants to get killed.
Mine, right.
He wants to die during it, child. Okay.
Mine was pineapple.
Actually, if they do it too tight, I do like a tap. I'm doing I'll do a tap.
Okay.
Don't understand the tap.
Like the tap out.
Tap out. You a tap and pass out, child. Talk about.
Shut up.
For last thing is gonna be him nutting, and he dead. I'm done with the game.
I mean, I'm just saying. I'm saying that choke and a stroke is something.
Shut up.
And on that note,
not nut and die. Anyway, okay, thank y'all so much, Dexter.
Thank you so much.
Where can people find you? Where can people find you on Instagram?
Yes, you guys, find me. I'm on Instagram, Bad Dexter, BADD_Dexter. Food Lab page is Dexter's Food Lab, all one word. And follow me. Yes, Dextertainment. He's here.
Yes, he came to my job and had some food there, too.
Yes, some amazing paella. Everybody go there, check him out. Devery's the best.
Don't tell him where I work. I don't
Okay, right. Right, but it's a nice restaurant.
But it is if I know you, I'll invite you. But thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you.
Really
so amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
We really appreciate this, and we'll definitely have you on again.
Yeah, we'll have you on again for sure. Thank y'all so much for listening to another episode of Slick Talk. We'll see you next week.
Yes.
We love y'all.
Cheers.
This episode of Slick Talk was brought to you in part by Nexus Recording Studio, where the Bay records. Are you looking to do your own podcast, your own EP, your own mixtape? Check them out. It's in Oakland, California. That's where we record, and it's amazing.